to exist. Sometimes you even catch yourself thinking, if only there were fewer people, the world might actually be livable. But have you ever wondered, is the world really overcrowded? Or is it just our minds that are too chaotic? Today, I've got a strange question to get you thinking. What would happen if every single human on Earth stood together in one place? Sounds crazy, right? But hold up, scientists have actually calculated this before. If we gather all 8 billion people and squeeze them just enough, about zero point 0.2 square meters per person, like a packed concert, we'd only need about 1,600 square kilometers of space. That's basically the size of one large city, which means the world isn't crowded. Not really. It's wide open. We just think it's packed. Now picture it. A massive stadium filled with every single person alive. Men, women, kids, the elderly, the sick, the pregnant, the lonely, the heartbroken, the dreamers, the villains, the saints. Everyone standing shoulder to shoulder in one giant human city. Of course, there'd be no restrooms, no food, no internet, no air conditioning, no escape, no space to hide, no music to drown out your own thoughts. And as you're stuck next to someone you've never met, someone who doesn't speak your language, doesn't share your lifestyle, someone you've never understood, but now have to stand beside, that's when you'll start to realize what it truly means to be human. The first minute, exciting. 5 minutes, annoying. 10 minutes, lonely. 30 minutes in, you might start missing home. And by the first hour, you might suddenly understand we're not all that different after all. All the things that used to divide us, language, race, religion, class, they just vanish. All that's left is skin and breath, standing next to each other. Kind of terrifying, huh? But in that fear, there's something profound. We live on a planet with space to spare, and yet we keep building walls, borders, religions, ideologies, classes. We even draw lines around who deserves a good life. But if you stood right there, in the heart of 8 billion people, you'd see the truth. No one is better than anyone. We are more alike than we think. The problem is, we've never had the chance to just stand side by side. I've thought about this a lot. If someone sneezes in that crowd, that's a global disaster. But what if someone just smiled, and that smile passed from one face to the next? What if that small gesture could change the whole planet? Think about it. We spend 8 hours a day staring at our phones, but haven't looked someone in the eyes for more than 8 seconds. What would happen if all 8 billion of us made eye contact at the same time? Would the earth shake? By now, you've probably figured out this isn't just a random question anymore. It's a question aimed straight at the heart of humanity. Why do we still feel so alone when we're all standing on the same planet? Humans don't just need space. We need a place in someone's heart. We need to know we're seen. That in this world full of noise and crowds, we still matter. And that, my friend, is the paradox of being human. This planet is enormous. We have oceans deeper than we can dive, continents untouched, mysteries that even physics can't explain. Yet somehow, there's still someone crying alone in a tiny room tonight because they feel like no one understands them. So here's another question. What if all 8 billion people stood together and no one said a word? How silent would that be? Would the sound of our breathing drown out a jet engine? Would we, for the first time, hear each other's heartbeat? Some might say, what's the point? Crowds are chaotic. But I think there's one thing that would absolutely happen. We could never lie to ourselves again and say we're alone. In real life, you might walk through a mall and feel invisible. But if you stood among all of humanity, you are one of the few still breathing. You are a representative of the entire species. In that moment, you matter. Whether you're a child, a worker, unemployed, or someone who feels worthless, you're still standing. You are still part of this world. And that is enough for today. Because a good life isn't about standing in wide open spaces. It's knowing you can still stand, even when no one is holding your hand. Thanks for staying with me all the way through. If you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to hit follow or subscribe. In the next episode, I'll take you into a mystery you probably laughed at as a kid, but somehow it's become the thing you're secretly afraid of as an adult. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next story.